Happy morning, students. Welcome to your geography class. The topic is elements of a map. So we have already discussed few elements. In the last video, we talked about map scale. Then we talked about colors in a map, conventional signs and symbols. Then we started with the topic that was the grid system. So today we are going to talk about grid system in detail. So let's start. Now, what is a grid system? When latitudes and longitudes meet, they form a network of lines known as grid. A network of latitudes and longitudes drawn on a map or globe is called the grid system. Now, before we start the grid system, let's talk about latitudes and longitudes in detail. Now, this is how our latitudes and longitudes look. Latitudes are the horizontal lines. Can you see them? Okay, and the longitudes are the vertical lines. Now, latitudes are the horizontal east-west lines. The longest latitude is the equator. Can you see this red line here? This is the equator. Yes, it divides the earth into two equal hemispheres. Okay. The upper hemisphere is the northern hemisphere and the lower one is southern hemisphere. So this is the longest line of latitude, which is at 0 degree. Clear? And as we go from the equator towards the north, okay, then what happens? These latitudes, they decrease in size. Okay, so here we have reached to 30 degree north, then to 60 degree north, and the last line of latitude is 90 degree north, which is just a point. Okay, it is our north pole. Similarly, when we go from the equator towards the southern hemisphere, towards the south, so we have here 15 degrees south latitude, then down we have 45 degrees south latitude. See, all these lines are decreasing in size, okay, because of the spherical shape of the earth. And then we reach to the last latitude, that is the south pole. So these are all lines of latitude. So how many lines of latitudes we have? We have 90 latitudes in the northern hemisphere and 90 latitudes in the southern hemisphere. So along with equator, we have total 181 latitudes, lines of latitudes. Clear? So let's recall. Latitudes are the horizontal east-west lines. The longest latitude is the equator, that is 0 degree latitude, which is a great circle. It divides the earth into two halves or hemispheres. The northern half is called the northern hemisphere and the southern half is called the southern hemisphere. All the other latitudes are parallel to the equator and their length decreases towards the poles. In fact, at poles, they are merely points. The numerical value of a latitude is followed by letter N. As you can see here, all latitudes which are in the northern hemisphere, how they are named, okay, with the number and capital letter N. Similarly, in the southern hemisphere, letter S is used, okay, capital S. So the numerical value of a latitude is followed by the letter N or S for north or south of the equator. For example, 30 degree north, 60 degree north and 90 degree north. And in the southern hemisphere, we have 15 degrees south, 45 degrees south and 90 degree south. Yes, let's move further. Important lines of latitude. Okay, as we have already discussed, the equator, okay, that is 0 degree, which is the longest line of latitude. Then we have North Pole, that is 90 degree north, South Pole 90 degrees south, and then we have these two tropics. The Tropic of Cancer in the north, so it is also named as 23.5 degree north. Then we have Tropic of Capricorn, 23.5 degree south. So the Tropic of Cancer at 23.5 degree north is located north of the equator. It is the northernmost limit to which direct rays of the sun are received. On the other hand, the Tropic of Capricorn at 23.5 degrees south is located south of the equator. It is the southernmost limit to which direct rays of the sun are received. So you can look here. This is the equator. This is the Tropic of Cancer. Okay, 23.5 degree north or 23.5 degree north. Tropic of Capricorn, 23.5 degrees south. Okay, it is in the southern hemisphere. Similarly, we have other important latitudes, that is Arctic Circle, that is at 66.5 degree north in the northern hemisphere, and we have Antarctic Circle, which is 66.5 degrees south in the southern hemisphere. Clear? So these are our important lines of latitudes. Now, why they are important? Because they divide the Earth into different heat zones. Okay, we will talk about that later. So let's talk about the latitudes only. So North Pole is 90 degree north latitude, while the South Pole is 90 degree south latitude. They are, however, points and not lines on the Earth's surface. Clear? So the important lines of latitudes with degrees is shown on the Earth. Okay, how it looks like. This is the equator. Okay, and then Tropic of Cancer, Arctic Circle, and down we have Tropic of Capricorn and Antarctic Circle. Now let's talk about longitudes. Now you can see these vertical lines, okay, they are in the form of semicircles because all the longitudes, they meet at the North Pole and they meet at the South Pole. Yes, so longitudes are vertical north-south lines that run from pole to pole. All longitudes are semicircles of the same length. Okay, we can have a very good example in the form of an orange or a basketball, okay, where you can see these semicircles, okay, throughout the ball or a fruit. Two opposite longitudes form a complete circle, okay. For example, you look here, this is 0 degree, okay, and then it is a semicircle, but the circle which is just behind it, so it forms a great circle along with that particular semicircle. So two opposite longitudes, they form a complete circle. The 0 degree longitude, as we have talked about, 0 degree latitude is equator, dividing the Earth into two equal halves. So here, this 0 degree longitude, it is known as a prime meridian. It is also known as Greenwich meridian. Why? Because it passes through Greenwich. Clear? So this prime meridian and its opposite, okay, as we go from 0 degree towards the west and towards the east. Now you would have understood also this prime meridian, it divides prime meridian along with the 180 degree west-east longitude, that is just at the back side of this. So it divides the Earth into western hemisphere and eastern hemispheres. Okay, again, two halves of the Earth, but that is vertically. Clear? So when we go towards the west, you can see 20 degree west, and when you go towards the east, you can see 20 degree east. Similarly, 40 degree west towards west, 60 degree west, 80 degree west, and then you keep on going towards all the western hemisphere. Then the last semicircle, okay, that will be 180 degree west east, which is just behind 0 degree longitude. Similarly, if we go towards the east, 20 degree east, 40 degree east, 60 degree east, 80 degree east. Similarly, we go towards the last again. So that is why 180 degree How do we write it? We write it as 180-degree west-east together, okay? Because it is right at the backside of 0 degree. So both of these, 0 degree and 180-degree west-east, they form a great circle and they divide the earth into western and eastern hemisphere. So what we have just talked about, yes, longitudes are vertical north-south lines that run from pole to pole. All longitudes are semicircles of the same length, okay, because they're all meeting at the North Pole and the South Pole. Two opposite longitudes form a complete circle. For example, the 0-degree longitude, also called as prime meridian, this one, okay, and its opposite, which is the opposite, that is 180-degree longitude. We also call it as international date line. Okay, we will talk about this in detail also. So prime meridian, that is 0 degree, and international date line, which is 180-degree longitude, they both form a circle that also divides the earth into two equal halves, that is eastern half and the western half. Eastern half is called eastern hemisphere and the western half is called western hemispheres. Okay, I hope I'm clear with you. Now, the numerical value of a longitude. Okay, how do we write these longitudes? Again, it is followed by the letter E and letter W. Okay, E for east and W for west of the prime meridian. For example, 20-degree east, 40-degree east, okay, then 60-degree east, 80-degree east, and it goes on. Similarly, we write in the western hemisphere as 20-degree west, 40-degree west, 60-degree west, and 80-degree west, and we keep on going till the last longitude. Clear? So the prime meridian, 0-degree meridian, and the international date line are the two most important lines of longitudes. The prime meridian is also called as Greenwich meridian as it passes through a place named Greenwich near London, helps to determine time worldwide. Yes, longitudes help us to find time. When we have to locate a place, we require both latitudes and longitudes. Clear? But when we have to find time, okay, there we only require the longitude. Okay, so I hope you can easily differentiate between latitudes and longitudes now. Now look here, how a grid is formed. Okay, because the topic is grid system. So it is formed by the network of horizontal and vertical lines. Which are horizontal lines? Yes, these are latitudes, and vertical lines, these are longitudes. Clear? So a network of horizontal and vertical lines or latitudes and longitudes drawn on a map or a globe is called the grid system. Clear? So if you want to locate a place, okay, so we see the intersection of latitude and longitude, okay, and then we can get the accurate location of a place. The grid system is an important feature of maps. It helps in locating places on the surface of the earth. For example, if you want to look for a place, you would look for its latitude and longitude. The location of the place would be at the intersection of its latitude and longitude. In fact, you can locate all important towns and cities on a map if you know their latitudes and longitudes. So, latitudes and longitudes together are required to locate a place. Fine. Now, as we were talking about lines of longitudes, okay, so here you can clearly see on this side we have 0-degree longitude, that is prime meridian, and the opposite side you have 180-degree, okay, west east, that is international date line. Clear? So here you can see many more longitudes, that is from 0-degree. If we are going towards the east, okay, 30-degree, 60-degree, 90-degree, 120-degree, 150 degree, and the last one is 180 degree. Okay, as I told you, prime meridian and this 180 degree longitudes, they are the most important longitudes. Clear? Similarly, when you're going towards west, 30 degree, 60 degree, 90 degree, 120 degree, 150 degree and 180 degree. So how many total longitudes we have? We have 360 longitudes. Clear? So yes, students, I hope you have understood the grid system, latitudes, longitudes, special lines of latitudes and longitudes. Thank you everyone. Have a nice day.